Hi folks, Matthew here, welcome back to my channel. So a row has broken out in the Liberal Democrats. Well, as much as a row ever breaks out in the Lib Dems, we're generally a pretty friendly bunch. But a frustration has broken out in the Lib Dems, let's put it that way. And it's between our councillors and specifically our fabulous leader in local government, Councillor Joe Harris, and our party president and the chair of the Federal Conference Committee, which is an important position in the Lib Dems because it is the chair of the body that organises our federal conferences where party policy is made. And it's about who gets speaking time at federal conference, especially who gets to have one of the few keynote addresses at party conference. And it's the contention of Councillor Joe Harris, and I agree with him, that there should always be a slot for a formal keynote slot for someone from local government. So one of our councillors to speak. It would probably more than likely be him because Joe is our leader in local government, but it might be another council leader or elected mayor as well. But whoever it is, his contention is that there should be a keynote slot for someone from local government. And he makes the point that, at the moment, at least, it's only in local government that Lib Dems have power, and more than 40 council leaders have joined him in the letter that he's written to Lord Pack and to Nick DaCosta, the Federal Conference Committee chair, making this point that at the moment it's in local government that Lib Dems actually run things, that we're in charge of councils' budgets which run into the billions of pounds, that I'm not a councillor anymore, but I still kind of think in councillor terms because I was a councillor for many years. But those that are still councillors are making a difference on things like climate change, on housing, on essential public services, on adult social care, etc., on children's services, on so many different things. And it's Lib Dems that are in charge of many councils across the land and really making a difference on the ground in people's lives. And of course, we should be able to tell that story from the federal national party rostrum. And at the moment, at least it seems at the upcoming party conference next month in Bournemouth, there is no formal slot to do so. And that is what Joe Harris and the other council leaders that have signed the letter that he sent are protesting about, and that is the point that they're making. Now, what is said back to them, and what my sources say to me, is that apart from perhaps the leader of the party, there are no guaranteed slots, and the parliamentary party has to go to conference committee and say, these are the people that we'd like to speak, and then conference committee either agrees or disagrees. Now, that may well be true, but I doubt and maybe I'm wrong in this, and Nick DaCosta, if I am, please let me know. But I think that it's unlikely that MPs are going to be turned down to speak. I think that's just the fact of the matter. And I do worry as an ordinary party member now, I've not been a councillor for a couple of years now, so as an ordinary party member and activist, it does worry me that conference is increasingly becoming just a parade ground for our members of parliament. And of course it's fantastic that the Lib Dems now have 72 members of parliament. It's wonderful. They do a great and important job representing their constituents and holding this government to account. But the fact is, and I've made this point in person to Nick DaCosta, the fact is, they get to speak in the Commons every week. Ordinary party members, of course, don't get that. And conference is the one opportunity for us to speak from a platform and get our points of view across. And so, my very personal but very strong view is that conference should predominantly be for ordinary party members and activists, and not just a parade ground for our members of parliament. So we'll see how this plays out. Will things change before the conference happens next month? Will Joe Harris or another council leader get a keynote slot? We await to see. But yes, somewhat of a row has broken out in the Lib Dems.